Now that we are midway through the college basketball season, I wanted to give my updated rankings on the top 25 players in college basketball right now. So I'll be going from number 1 to number 25 on who I think are the best players based on how they've performed so far this season. But before we get into the rankings, if you enjoy the content, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And now, let's jump into it. And coming in at my top spot, it's AJ Dybantsa from BYU, and he has been nothing short of outrageous so far this season. Dybantsa is averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, and the BYU freshman is producing at historic efficiency for a top 10 team in the Cougars, and he became one of the only Division I players to average at least 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists over a calendar month while shooting better than 65% from the field, which is insane for a wing. And Dybantsa can score in every situation, whether it's a post up, in the pick and roll, in transition, or spot up, and he also makes sharp reads as a decision maker, and right now he's firmly in the National Player of the Year conversation and would be my vote to win it. But just behind Dybantsa at number 2 is Cameron Boozer, and he has been as reliable as it gets in college basketball this season. The Duke freshman star is averaging 23.5 points, nearly 10 rebounds, and over 4 assists while imposing his will every night against any opponent. And even when defenses slow him early, Boozer always finds a way to leave his mark in a game, and he doesn't turn the ball over. He welcomes double teams and creates second chance opportunities for both himself and his team, and he has the ability to score both on the inside and on the perimeter. And finishing through length is the lone blemish that we've seen from Boozer so far, but otherwise he has had a dominant season, and knowing Boozer will deliver every single game is what separates him from most players in college basketball right now, because consistency at this level is incredibly rare, especially as a freshman. At number 3, I have Yaxel Lendeborg from Michigan, and his transformation has been one of the stories of the season. After playing the small ball 5 at UAB last season, he's thriving as a versatile off-ball wing at Michigan. So far, he's averaging nearly 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, while shooting an absurd 80% on 2-point attempts, and has been the best player for one of the best teams in the country in the Michigan Wolverines. His downhill drives are impossible to contain, and his decision-making has elevated Michigan's already loaded offense so far, and Lendeborg has the ability to stretch defenses with a reliable outside shot and finishes well at the free throw line, and every efficiency number that we see from him just pops, and his impact shows up everywhere on the floor. Iowa State's Joshua Jefferson is my number 4 player in college basketball right now, and he honestly looks like a pro masquerading as a college player. He's averaging 17.5 points, 8 rebounds, and a remarkable 5.2 assists, leading all frontcourt players in passing right now. And Jefferson has the ability to manipulate defenses with his elite vision and patience, and then he punishes them with strong downhill drives and an improving jump shot, and his defensive impact only adds to the value. And Iowa State wins games because Jefferson controls them without forcing shots and makes his teammates better while still shouldering a major offensive load for the Cyclones. And his combination of size, skill, and feel for the game is exactly why winning seems to follow him everywhere, and is a big part to Iowa State's undefeated start so far. But next at number 5 is actually my preseason player of the year in Braden Smith. And Smith has been the engine behind Purdue's offense once again. He leads the nation with 9.5 assists per game and also scores efficiently and is shooting nearly 40% from 3. And as of now, it looks like Braden Smith is going to break the college basketball record for assists in a career, which is insane to think about. And Smith plays with elite feel. He constantly controls the pace and makes the right read in pick and roll situations. And he creates high quality looks not only for himself but also for his teammates. And his ability to knock down perimeter shots and compete defensively is big despite his size. And the decision making, toughness that he brings, and IQ for the game of basketball just jumps off the screen when you watch him. And Purdue's offense simply hums when Smith is on the floor, and his steady presence keeps everything organized and flowing, and is a big reason why the Boilermakers have the number 1 offense in the country right now. But I have another great point guard right behind Braden Smith at number 6, and that's Labaron Philon from Alabama. And so far this year, he has made scoring look effortless. He's averaging 21.5 points and over 5 assists, and has been one of the most dangerous offensive guards in the country, especially in that Alabama offense. His tight handle and explosive first step allow him to get wherever he wants on the floor at any time, and once he finds his spots, it's usually over for the defense. Philon blends scoring with playmaking seamlessly and keeps defenses constantly off balance. He plays with confidence, rhythm, and poise, and makes difficult shots feel routine at times. And at this pace, Philon has firmly positioned himself as the frontrunner for SEC Player of the Year, in my opinion. But another one of the best freshmen in the country comes in at number 7 in Caleb Wilson, and he brings a relentless presence every time he steps on the floor for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Wilson is averaging 19.5 points, nearly 11 rebounds, and a combined 3 steals and blocks per game, and is a walking double-double who anchors North Carolina defensively. His power, effort, and the elite athleticism that he has fuels a Tar Heels defense that's ranked 4th nationally when he's on the court, and his impact isn't always flashy, but it's constant when he's winning rebounds, contesting shots, and finishing through contact down low, and he plays with infectious energy and intelligence and makes opposing frontcourts miserable while giving UNC a consistent two-way force. And I have yet another freshman in my top 10, and at number 8, it's Darius Acuff Jr. from Arkansas, and he has been a complete offensive weapon for the Razorbacks. Acuff is up to nearly 20 points per game and over 6 assists, while posting elite efficiency across all the scoring zones. Against high major competition, his assist rate sits north of 40% with remarkably low turnovers, is one of the big reasons why I have Arkansas picked as my SEC team to win this year. And Acuff punishes defenses by reading coverage instantly, whether it's pulling up from deep, finishing with floaters, or attacking the rim, and his blend of strength and skill, despite his small frame, makes him nearly impossible to scheme against, and few guards in the country can control games the way Acuff does, and his efficiency separates him from the pack. But one of my favorite guards comes in at number 9, and that's Bennett Stirtz from Iowa, and he has become the Hawkeyes' offensive lifeline so far. The Drake transfer is averaging 18 points and 5 assists while shooting nearly 40% from 3 and maintaining a clean 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio this season. And while some performances against elite defenses have been uneven at times, Stirtz has consistently carried the creative load for Iowa and nearly always has the ball in his hands. He's the primary shot creator, playmaker, and spacing threat all at once, and his ability to generate offense late in possessions keeps Iowa competitive in just about every game, and the efficiency he's shown as the focal point makes his season even more impressive, and I feel like without Bennett Stirtz, Iowa would be nowhere near as good as they are this season. In rounding out the top 10, I have JT Toppin from Texas Tech, and he is an absolute force on the inside. The reigning Big 12 Player of the Year is averaging 21 points and 11 rebounds this season, and he dominates the middle of the floor with his touch, strength, and relentless effort that he brings. And once Toppin gets to his left hand inside 10 feet, defenses are in trouble as that's automatic for him, and he's one of the country's best short roll scorers and consistently creates second chance opportunities on the offensive glass. And despite his offensive workload, he still impacts games defensively for the Red Raiders with 3 combined steals and blocks per night. And Toppin plays with toughness and energy that set the tone for Texas Tech and allow them to compete with just about anyone in the country. Coming in at number 11, it's Bruce Thornton from Ohio State, and this season, Bruce Thornton feels absolutely automatic on the offensive end. He's averaging 20.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting nearly 50% on his catch-and-shoot threes and over 40% on his pull-up jumpers. And Thornton combines shot-making with elite efficiency, posting 59 assists to just 18 turnovers so far this season. And defenses seem to struggle to force mistakes on him because of his poise and balance and just the veteran leadership and presence that he is. And whether he's creating off the bounce or spotting up, Thornton consistently delivers. He's been excellent across the board and provides Ohio State with reliable scoring, playmaking, and leadership each and every night. Next at number 12 is Jacoby Gillespie, and he carries a massive offensive burden for Tennessee so far this season. Gillespie is averaging 18.5 points and nearly 6 assists, and he serves as both the primary creator and the team's best off-movement shooter. And Gillespie seamlessly toggles between running the offense and hunting his own shot and keeps defensive guessing with that. And in a challenging offensive environment that we see in Tennessee, his efficiency has stood out, and he consistently makes the right read, finds his teammates, and knocks down difficult shots without forcing the issue too much. And Tennessee leans heavily on Gillespie's versatility, and his steady production so far has been crucial to keeping the offense afloat this year. At number 13 is another Texas Tech Red Raider, and this time it's Christian Anderson, who has thrived in his sophomore season in his expanded role with the team. Anderson is averaging 19.5 points and 7.5 assists, and he's become one of the most effective pick-and-roll operators in the country. No player scores more points out of the ball screens than Anderson, and he creates over 42 points per game for Texas Tech through his scoring and his passing. He shoots the ball confidently from deep and makes sharp decisions under pressure, especially what we saw in the game against Duke. And the game just slows down when Anderson has the ball in his hands, and his command of the offense has unlocked another level for Texas Tech this season and is a big reason why he's flying up NBA draft boards. But maybe one of the biggest surprises on this list is at number 14 for me, and that's Tyler Tanner from Vanderbilt, and he has been the heartbeat for the Commodores' breakout season. The 6-foot point guard averages 17 points and 5.5 assists while shooting the ball at an elite level, and Tanner's athleticism, anticipation, and instincts allow him to control games despite his small size, and he rarely puts the ball in danger and consistently makes winning plays on both ends of the floor, and was a big reason why Vanderbilt was able to remain undefeated and beat Alabama. And his awareness and feel elevate everyone around him, and his ability to score, facilitate the ball, and defend has made Vanderbilt one of the most entertaining teams to watch in the country. Coming in at number 15 is Haugh, who has become Florida's most dependable player by mastering the little things that you may not notice. Haugh is averaging 17.5 points and 7 rebounds, but thrives as a cutter, offensive rebounder, and a physical defender for the Gators, and he consistently creates value without dominating the ball, scoring through his effort and timing rather than volume of shots, and his confrontational defense and willingness to do the dirty work set the tone for Florida night in and night out, and Haugh's growth season to season shows what a strong developmental path can produce, and his all-around impact makes him the backbone of the Gators' success and is one of the big reasons why I haven't counted Florida out just yet this year. Next at number 16 is Kingston Flemings from Houston, and he is another freshman that has made an immediate impact this year. So far on the season, he's averaging 16 points and 5 assists and plays with poise beyond his years. Flemings blends a polished scoring package with strong playmaking instincts and consistently operates at his own pace. His mid-range touch, creativity, and competitive edge stand out on a deep veteran roster that Houston has, and so far he has been the best player on that team. And making this level of impact so early on in his college career on a well-established team speaks volumes to me, and Fleming's maturity, confidence, and just the feel for the game that he has quickly placed him on the national radar for me. Ryan Conwell from Louisville comes in on my number 17th player, and his transition to the Cardinals has been seamless so far this year. Conwell is averaging 20 points, and he's been one of the most productive off-movement shooters in the entire country while expanding his game as a driver as well. And Conwell leads the ACC in made threes so far this season, knocking down 56 at a strong percentage as well, and he's consistently Louisville's most reliable offensive option and scores efficiently without monopolizing possessions for the Cardinals, and his ability to score in multiple ways, whether that's shooting from deep, getting to the rim, or even pulling up in the mid-range, keeps defenses stretched, and his shot making has powered Louisville's offense throughout the season so far. Coming in at number 18 is another Iowa State player, and this time it's Tamin Lipsey, and when he's healthy, it changes everything for the Cyclones. So far this year, Lipsey is averaging 15 points and 5.5 assists, and his burst is back, allowing him to collapse defenses and generate constant advantages on the offensive end. And Lipsey's decision-making has been pristine so far this year, totaling 67 assists to just 9 turnovers on the season. And he plays with toughness, urgency, and elite defensive effort every night. And Lipsey sets the tone on both ends of the floor for Iowa State, combining smart offense with relentless on-ball defense, and his return to form has been a massive boost for Iowa State's stability and efficiency, and another reason why the Cyclones are one of the best teams in the country. But at number 19, I have one of the players from the top team in the country, and that's Jaden Bradley, who has been the emotional leader of the undefeated Arizona Wildcats. Bradley is averaging 13.5 points and 4.5 assists, and he brings elite on-ball defense and some of the most clutch shot making that you'll see in college basketball. Bradley's physicality and intensity fuels Arizona's identity as a team, while his refined offensive game allows him to deliver when it matters most time and time again, and he consistently takes the toughest defensive assignments and still finds his ways to impact the offensive side of things. And Bradley's leadership and poise have been instrumental in Arizona's rise to the top of the rankings this year. And rounding out the top 20 is Rienk Mast from Nebraska, and so far this season, he has been a matchup nightmare for the Cornhuskers. Mast is averaging 16.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, and his ability to stretch the floor and shoot nearly 40% from 3 has been amazing to see, and he also scores efficiently on the interior. His touch on hooks and feel as a passer makes Nebraska's offense difficult to guard, and Mast's basketball IQ allows him to exploit mismatches consistently. He's been the best player on an undefeated Nebraska team that's ranked inside the top 10, and he anchors their offense with his skill, patience, and versatility night in and night out. At number 21, I have Keyshawn Haugh from Auburn, and Keyshawn is playing the best basketball of his career with the Tigers. Currently, he's averaging 21 points and 8 rebounds, and the Auburn forward is also another matchup nightmare. He owns a sparkling offensive rating and can score in every conceivable way, whether that's shooting over defenders, driving past them, or overpowering them in the post. And Hall's versatility makes him impossible to game plan against for most teams, and his confidence just seems to continue to grow with each and every game that he plays. And he's firmly established himself as one of the SEC's premier scorers and is a central piece of Auburn's offensive attack. Next at number 22 is another offensive threat, and that's Chad Baker-Mazara, who has thrived at USC so far this season. Baker-Mazara is averaging 19.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, and he's posting career-best numbers while maintaining strong efficiency and is having to do just about everything for a very injured Trojans team right now. And as the primary option, Baker-Mazara balances scoring with creative playmaking, delivering tough passes, and keeping the offensive flow. His size, shooting ability, and defensive versatility allow him to impact the game in multiple ways as well, and his steady leadership and expanded role with the Trojans have elevated USC's offense throughout the season. Coming in at number 23 is one of the best scorers in all of college basketball, and that's PJ Haggerty, and his production stands out nationally. Haggerty is averaging nearly 23 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists per game, and he's one of only 3 players meeting those benchmarks so far this season. He's delivered the scoring Kansas State needed, consistently carrying the offensive load for the Wildcats. However, efficiency against top competition has been a challenge, and Kansas State's record has limited his climb up the rankings for me. But still, Haggerty's ability to score, facilitate, and rebound at this volume remains impressive from just about anyone, and his workload is among the heaviest that we have seen in the country. Another Tar Heel sneaks into my top 25 at number 24, and this time it's Henri Veesaar, and his impact is felt every time North Carolina takes the floor. Veesaar is averaging 16.5 points and 9 rebounds, and the 7-footer anchors a top 20 defense while keeping the offense extremely organized as well. And Veesaar has added to his range, knocking down 19 threes so far this year and improved his back to the basket game also. And his work on the offensive glass creates extra possessions for the Tar Heels, and his passing helps keep the ball moving. And Veesaar has delivered exactly what UNC hoped for, and maybe even more, making him a crucial piece on both ends of the floor. And rounding out my rankings at number 25 is Graham Ike from Gonzaga, and Ike's scoring production is impossible to overlook, and it's something that we see and have grown accustomed to each and every year. This season, Ike is averaging 17 points and 8.5 rebounds, and he's a consistent interior scorer with elite touch around the rim. Ike carves out space in the paint, finishes through contact, and continues to grow as a decision maker, and his offensive instincts make him a constant threat wherever he touches the ball, and when Ike gets downhill, defenses struggle to contain him, and his steady improvement and ability to score in volume have made him one of Gonzaga's most reliable offensive weapons. And as always, I have a ton of honorable mentions that just missed out on my rankings, including guys like Darryn Peterson and Michael Brown Jr., who are both top 25 talents, but haven't been able to play much recently due to injuries. And I also have others like Darion Williams from NC State, Trey Kaufman-Rim from Purdue, Paulius Murauskas from St. Mary's, Zuby Ejiofor from St. John's, Koa Pete from Arizona, Keaton Wagler from Illinois, Solo Ball from UConn, and Cameron Carr from Baylor, who just missed out on my top 25, but could definitely be there come the end of the season. But that wraps it up for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of my top 25 players in college basketball so far. Is there anyone that should be higher, lower, or someone that I didn't include? Also, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.